Hi, I've immediately forgotten what number podcast this is.
14.
No, 14 was the last one.
No, it wasn't.
Was it?
14.
14, thank you. Welcome to episode 14 of our podcast. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to talk about a recent on-site client photo shoot and content production project that I attended. I flew over to DC for 5 days under the guise, under false pretenses, I think. Hey, Ben, would you like to come over here and see what's going on behind the scenes? Get to see a little bit about what goes in. Little did I know it would end up with me pantless in a robe in a hotel room in DC.
And the two things are not related.
They're very related, and it's only now that I'm comfortable enough to talk about this. Just about.
Well, actually, the notes say we're talking about something completely different. Is this just something you want to get off your chest?
In that case,
let's
scratch that.
No,
that never happened.
No, let's talk about this
at all. I never took my pants off.
In fact, forget
and
this.
Put a robe on.
Forget this. We're going to talk about pantless Ben. Indeed.
We don't want.
No, we don't want to see it. We want to talk about it.
In fact, can I do the ping again and we'll get a picture up? Bing. There you go. Because it's going to make the rounds. So you might as well see that.
We don't want to see it. We want to talk about it.
Zoom into my eyes. Look at the fear.
I'm glad you said eyes. Okay. That mouse is not coming out of that house.
Mice or houses anymore.
Okay. Well, let's talk about why lifestyle shoots for hotels actually matter. So let's get to a little bit of the base background of it.
Yep.
The reason why 3&six were brought in to work with this particular hotel.
Yep.
And hotels in general. And then we can obviously move on to how you got roped into it.
If we have to. So the shoot was a cluster shoot in DC for a group we've worked with for quite some time. And there's a real need for an update in the assets. Not just the product, but also some lifestyle photography, showing a little bit about the neighborhood the hotel's in, the kind of people there, the vibe of the hotel. Because every product, boil it down to, it's a bed in a room with an alarm clock and maybe a desk if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And so I think zooming out and being able to show the product from a bit more of a pullback view, really important so that you understand what you're getting yourself into and if it's the kind of property you want to stay at.
Yeah.
And I've got to say that the shoots were put together, the shot plan was immaculate, and there was really great communication between our team, our content team, the photography team, and the on-property team. Like, hey, this is what we think we need to get. These are the kind of shot lists we want to get in place. For this, can you arrange this? Can you get sign off on this? It was super smooth, and they were really, I think, taken aback by how prepared the team were going into that shoot.
Yeah, that communication still managed to manifest itself in you being pantless and with a hotel robe on.
Okay, again, I think if anything, Chris, I'm too trusting. Far too trusting. And I should approach all communication with my team with a very healthy dose of suspicion.
And definitely skepticism. So, Ben, I think the problem is that you've not learned. The same people that put these podcasts together and make us eat hot and or sour things are the same people that work in the content team and the photo shoots and video shoots for our clients. And they managed to rope you to fly all the way over the pond to go to DC, and you didn't suspect anything until you were there.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, you're not going to fool me again. It's not going to happen. It might happen because it was a lot of fun.
It's so going to happen.
It was a lot of fun, if I'm honest. It was really good. It was great to see the behind the scenes of how the team put it all together and how important it was to capture those assets they wanted.
So tell me then, obviously that's the first time that you've been involved with a video shoot directly with the hotel. Not the first time that 3&six and the team have been involved with doing them.
Yep.
You've got a huge amount of experience, but it's the first time that you've actually been involved.
Photo shoot.
Yeah. Photo shoot. What were your takeaways? What did you learn from the experience?
What did I learn from the experience? I possibly might have not fully understood exactly what went into it. I think I may have made a flippant comment at one point prior to the hot nuts,
Not like you.
saying it can't be. You just take your iPhone and take some pictures of some beds and a
snappy,
pizza.
snappy, away you go. Bounce on the beds a bit, and that's it all done.
I mean, you don't know how accurate you are with boiling it down to that. And I learned the preparation process lasted months and months, because you're going into a hotel that you can't shut this hotel down. There's still a really high occupancy there. The lobby is still full of paying guests who don't want to be disturbed by you shoving cameras in people's faces.
Or running through it in robes.
All running through anywhere in robes. Come to
Hello,
mention it.
is that reception? Yeah, there is a man in a robe that barely covers his buttocks.
Partially naked, running up and down the 4th floor. Can we have the police, please?
He's giggling with another woman, and it's not his wife.
Okay,
Sorry,
we'll get on to that. We'll get on to exactly what happened. But I was taken aback by how much preparation went into it. I think it's not just hey, we're going to need some pictures. Well, you can go to the lobby, then you can do some photos. There was so much logistics.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we need that room. We can clean that room from 11 till 11:30. You can have it from 11:30 to 12:15. There's an early check-in in that room. So you're getting in there, and there's no time to wander around. What actually happened with the robe incident?
Oh, it's an incident now.
It's not quite a scandal. It's an incident.
It's not Robegate.
No, it's not Robegate.
Thank goodness.
Or Gowngate. It's none of those. No. So we went into this this room, and the client for this particular shoot didn't want to hire external models. They wanted to almost staff it with the team there, and part of obviously the 3&6 and group staff. Now there was on the 4th floor there was myself and 3 women, and they needed male to be in some of the shots, and so
not being able to find one,
they settled for me. And one of the shots was a sort of lifestyle. Hey, we're sat on the couch, we're just enjoying reading a book, and we're throwing popcorn at each other, which is exactly how I read books. I often launch fistfuls of popcorn at my wife on the couch. And we put the robes on, and I had jeans on and a blue polo shirt, and the robe was skimming. I think it was skimming. It was probably built for a much more svelte man. And so I clearly had jeans on under my robe, which reduced the mystique of the photo shoot. So
I quite like the idea of there being reduced mystique where this story's going.
If the mystique was reduced any further, there'd be no mystery left at all. So
you've got to leave a little something in the
You've got
relationship.
to leave a little something. You've got to leave them wanting more. So I ended up taking some shots, and Lindsay said, "Hey Ben, we can clearly see your jeans." I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she said, "You're going to have to take your pants off." So like, you know what? In for a penny or a cent. So I walked into this little kitchenette, took my jeans off and sort of dropped them on the floor, and then walked out and did my America's Next Top Model walk down the down to back to the couch, and we took another picture. And then she said, "Oh, we can see your polo shirt."
Oh, thank God for that.
Polo shirt.
Yeah,
don't cut at that P, whatever you do. So I was like, you know what? All right. So I went back to the kitchenette, took my polo shirt, dropped it off, and thought,
There's not a lot left here.
This is not what I was thinking was going to happen. So I went in there, and I was quite tight and tucked and everything, and sat on the couch and tried to be as natural as possible without flashing everyone in the room and launching popcorn at someone. Thank you, Jackie, for being such a great sport. And I loved it. It was really good fun to get involved in them.
Tell me, there is a story about a dog as well, I believe. Or working with a dog, at least.
Okay, So they say never work with children or animals. I think I had the childlike. I brought the childlike energy.
Yeah, so you were the problem in this.
I was like, this is amazing. And part of the lifestyle, one of the hotels we worked with was incredibly pet friendly. And they wanted to bring dogs in. Now, obviously, I can't stick a dog in my carry-on and pop it across the Atlantic. So the GM...
Frowned upon.
One of the team at this property, who I think lives like an hour and a half away, brought his 2 dogs who were incredibly confused. We were promised the park, and you've taken us to a lobby, And so we were trying our very best to G these dogs onto luggage trolleys and getting them to behave. And they were the best boys. They were the fluffiest best boys, but did not want to do what they were told. And I really felt that in my soul. I was like, I'm jet lagged too, buddy, here. So it was,
and they were getting all the treats.
and they were getting treats, and all I got was coffee runs. Can you go get us a... I was like, yeah, go on, I'll get you another drink. But it was important for us to show and be able to demonstrate these are the sort of lifestyle, this is the kind of hotel that you're staying at. It was really good, and the shots eventually worked. It only took us 15, 20 minutes maybe to get all the shots we wanted. You know, on the luggage cart. There was one particular shot where this really fluffy dog is reclining on an outside couch. It looks really good. Before that, he was licking himself. But we got the shot where he just stopped and turned perfectly. I was like, right, get that one quickly.
I've just got images of you and the dog both doing it and both turning at the same time. What?
No, it wasn't that bad. It was jet lag, but not that bad.
But you mentioned about earlier on. You mentioned about how long it takes to put these things together, and I know that there's a huge emphasis upon storytelling. Can you talk us through a little bit of that process and the time leading up to the photo shoot?
Yeah, so that was a process that I was entirely an audience for. I was watching it happen.
Yeah,
because it's not my skill set at all, and it was really interesting to see how the team were approaching that. So there was a lot of this is a seasonal photo shoot. It's in spring, so the content needs to cover spring and into summer, and at the end of summer we'll start to look at a fall shoot to cover the latter part of the year. So we're talking to the different properties about the kind of stories they wanted to tell, the kind of guests they wanted to attract. Was there anything new that had happened at the hotel since the last shoot was done, since the last assets were produced? And there was excitement on their part, and they were really so here are the kind of things you want to talk about. We've got these new dishes at the restaurant. One particular shoot had a really nice restaurant at part of the hotel, and usually one of the bottlenecks is waiting for all the food to be cooked and getting it placed and staging it and taking the pictures. When we got there, we'd done all the room shoots, we got downstairs and said, are you ready for the food now? And obviously my answer is always yes. 100%.
Default.
Just bring
Default,
it.
Yeah.
I've travelled 4,000 miles.
Why is the food not here now?
Where's my boiger? And this entire just train of food, all prepared, looking amazing, just came out. And it was really good to have them so involved in wanting to tell the stories and wanting to get involved in putting the assets across. The only frustrating part of that...
You couldn't eat the food.
Until much later, they had me doing like a lot of pretend you're putting a chip in your mouth.
Oh, yes. Pretend.
And put it down again. Right, okay, now move it up slower.
I really can't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Oh, no, that chip went.
Yeah,
what do you mean it went?
I don't know.
What we're talking about.
So by the time I actually managed to nibble this burger, it was really cold. But it looked incredible, and the team was so enthusiastic and proud about what they put together. The shots came really naturally.
So there's a phrase that I know that the team uses, and it's like you're shooting for tomorrow, not today. Obviously, looking at the trying to shoot for future seasons or different events or whatever it would be. So this has just recently happened. Can you tell us like what target you were aiming for with the shoot that you were putting together recently? Yeah,
so a lot of the shoots there was only a couple of shots that were outside where you could see the season.
Yeah,
it was definitely spring in DC, a lovely place at that time of year. But we didn't want to date the shoots. So we were trying to get almost evergreen content internally, but then also a smaller selection of shots that we could use across the next couple of months before it gets clearly into summer. And that was something that was intentional, that was purposeful, and that was something that the content and photography team worked on together with the people at the property. Like, we don't just want this to be content that we can only use today. I mean, the photography team were going so far as, hey, if you're wearing an Apple Watch, can you take it off? Because that particular model of watch could date the photos.
Wow.
They'd thought about absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Making sure that they can use these photos for years and years and years if need to. And they must have taken 4,000 photos.
And they still chose you to be in it.
And they still chose me.
Incredible.
Me to be in those.
In that robe.
Make sure you're getting this side.
In that robe, the picture again. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so that's the shoot. That's
Yep.
the practicalities of doing it, and obviously don't want to belittle the huge amount of work that goes into that in the lead up to it.
Yep.
And then the actual shoot itself. But let's get down to sort of brass tacks. You know, we want digital assets at the end of it. Can you talk about what hotels should look out for if they're trying to get a photo shoot done? The teams that are coming in, about you know, what sort of things should they do in terms of the assets that they've got ownership to and access to it post shoot.
Post shoot.
Yeah.
Post shoot is they should make sure that they get what they want.
Yeah.
And that's a really quite a broad phrasing, but I think as long as the preparation has gone in beforehand, and that there's somebody from property that's helping and sorting out the logistics of the shoot, I think the post shoot, after they've been edited and color corrected and graded, whatever, you know, the talented photography team are going to do with them, it's a case of box ticket. Have we got everything we wanted? A lot of them can go back and be touched up, and you can add things and spot correct and take things out, and even with AI, add things that might not have been there in the original shots. And I think it's making sure that whatever you and your marketing team have planned for these shots to be used for, make sure that those boxes are ticked, because it's a full day on there doing it, and it's months of preparation beforehand. It would be such a waste of time, money, and effort to close a shoot off, we're done there, and then 2 weeks later say, oh, actually, we really should have got this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And then it's trying to fit any of those kind of corrections, alterations, improvements into the photography and editing cycle that might already be going on with other clients.
And that's where you need a good team.
Yep.
You know, before the event, so all of that preparation that you're talking leads up to making sure that you haven't got the
If only
that. Yeah, and then obviously there's the content itself, like, you know, or making sure that the content's owned, that you can use that content. Yeah,
it's very important. The devil is always in the detail.
Very much so.
Devil in the detail.
Good stuff. Well,
I loved it. I had a great time.
Yeah.
The next time, if I do that, I'm going to bring more props. I didn't realise just how important props were, because it's all well and good taking a picture of an espresso on a newspaper, but just adding little details. I think my AirPods are in one of the photos. My house keys are in one of the photos.
Yeah.
Pairs of sunglasses, just basically crap I had in my bag. At one point I said, you can use my British passport if you want, the front cover obviously.
Yeah.
To make it look a little bit more international. And just that, my iPad, my notebook, everything is in it. I actually think there's a couple of 3&6 branded pens in one of them. So we'll be...
Shameless plug.
Plug. No shame for plugs at all.
And no dogs were harmed in the production.
Absolutely not. Those dogs got the biggest roofle schmoofle cuddles in the... They were the stars.
The what now?
I'm not saying it again.
Okay. We'll play that one back. Yeah.
I hope you found that useful. If you'd like to talk to us more about a photo shoot, get in touch with our content team. We'll put the link there. And we'll do everything we can to make sure we bring the very best out of your hotel. Thank you.